Computer keyboard deep clean.
Hello, in today's episode I'm gonna show you how to perform a keyboard deep clean. So first of all, you have to unplug the keyboard from your PC, and secondly, you will need a couple of things. One of them, key remover for your keyboard. It's very handy, it's much better than maybe a screwdriver or something like that. You can get them on Amazon, just check the links below for around $5. One towel, one small vacuum cleaner with a small suction nozzle, one mobile phone to take the alignment of the keys on your keyboard, so take a picture before you disassemble the keyboard. Whoa. Okay, picture taken. So let's get it unplugged from the PC and let's go! Cut! Just as a test, remove the key that no one uses on the keyboard, just to check out whether it will work when you put it back. So this is the scroll lock key, no one uses it on keyboards, so it is the first one to remove and insert it back in place to see whether it will work or not. Come on! Okay, we have it back in place, so it seems to be safe to remove most of the keys. I think I'm gonna leave the red ones on without removing them, so let's get the rest of them taken out from the keyboard. So I'm gonna collect all the keys into one of the old ice cream buckets and then we'll properly wash them.
It did take me a while to remove all the keys from my keyboard. I sped up the process as it is quite boring to watch me taking the keys out. Unfortunately, as I had assumed, there was a good amount of dirt of different origin under the keys. I will repeat it, but it might be a good idea to ask for a new keyboard if you have to work on a computer previously used by other person, but in most places you should be able to get a replacement, so ask your bosses to get a new one. If not, buy a new keyboard just for your own safety.
Space is usually the tricky one, so be gentle with it. There might be some mechanical elements underneath. Yeah, there are, but we'll be able to wash it. And if you think that your keyboard looks better than mine under the keys, you're probably badly wrong and you need to clean it, well, at least once a year. So now it's time for the vacuum cleaner.
Cleaning the keyboard with my small Parkside vacuum cleaner took me a while, so I sped it up as well. This is what you can do if you deal with a laptop keyboard, if keys are easily removable of course. If not, and you don't know how to check it, just don't do it. Keyboard started to look much better, but it wasn't enough for me, so I decided to remove the red keys from the top and wash the whole thing with IPA so all the tea and drink stains would be gone. Unfortunately, still it wasn't good enough for me. I did my best with IPA and my electric toothbrush. Most of the stains and dirts were gone, but I wanted the keyboards to be like new, so I decided to dig deeper. I mean screw deeper. I flipped the keyboard to remove all the screws. I repeat it again, small vacuum, brush and IPA have to be enough for laptops, but this is a desktop keyboard, so I decided to go for full disassembly to get all the dirt and other interesting stuff out from it. Unscrewing process was quite boring, so I sped this part as well. Here we have the heart of our keyboard, control board and all the push sensors in and under the white panel. I tried being gentle with the cables and boards. 3 more screws to go, as the sensor panels were not soldered but just pressed to the control board. The detachment process wasn't too difficult, just 3 screws. Just remember that it might be a good idea to take some pictures at this stage to make life easier when assembling the thing back into one piece. Remember to mind the silicone caps, as on the floor they might be quite difficult to spot, so they can be easily lost. We have our keyboard disassembled, time to get all the small parts into plastic buckets and let's go to the professional wash station. I forgot about the screws, but it happens to everyone. I washed all the elements very hard with washing up liquid and a brush, and it did take me a while. When done washing, I unloaded all of the wet elements on a towel so they can dry. I still had to wash the big parts, at the end, but they were not too difficult to wash, so it took only a couple of minutes. I did give them a good wash and I tried to dry them with my towel the best I could have. But in my less than humble opinion, it is best to leave them in a dry, warm place to dry. It is handy to have a spare keyboard at this stage, as this process can take a day or two. I did not have a secondary keyboard, so I had to dry and blow dry each and every part to make this process as smooth as possible. It took me 2 hours anyway.
So we got all of the elements properly cleaned and washed, and now the big question: how many screws and how many keys and other elements are we going to miss, and will it work when we're done with the assembly? So we'll switch now into time-lapse mode and we'll try to get it up and running again. Cut!
I began with inserting silicone caps in the designated holes. I had regular holes for regular keys and smaller holes for the red keys from the top of the keyboard. Surprisingly, I was missing only 2 silicone caps, one small and one big. I took my mobile to check out the pictures that I took earlier to choose 2 keys that I could do without. I decided that my scroll lock and email keys are not in use, so these keys will be off forever. I got the caps in place and I used the screws that I did not lose to screw the main elements of the keyboard into one piece. Honestly, I did not have any problems and this part went quite smooth. Now it was time to get all of the keys in place. I used one of the pictures taken earlier just to be sure that I was inserting the keys in the right spots. Keys inserting procedure did take me a while and was quite annoying. I had to check the picture for first, let's say 50 keys at all times, as I did not want to take them out just to insert them in the neighboring spot again. It was very hard manual labor, but finally I had almost all the keys in place. I left space and tried shift keys out as they have mechanical beams, so I wanted to lubricate them before insertion, but I did not find my mechanical oil, so I finally got them in, and surprisingly they did not cause any problems, so my keyboard was almost fully operational again. Well, apart from the scroll lock and email keys, my small one found one of the missing caps, but as the keyboard was already up and running, I decided to squeeze this one in, instead of disassembling the keyboard again. I finally managed that, so technically speaking only one key was missing. I plugged the keyboard in and I was back online with fully functional and most importantly clean keyboard. A great weekend success.
And if you're a rich person, just get a new keyboard, it might be quicker. I'm not rich, so I simply traded time for money. Instead of getting a new keyboard, I got this one. Nice and shiny. Well, that's it for today. Remember about watching some other of my videos. One here, 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 and face to subscribe here. That's it for today. Bye bye!